Hi guys, welcome to the Pitstop podcast, your weekly pit stop for all things NASCAR and Formula One. I'm Gabby.
And I am Zamari, and today we are going to be talking about the similarities and differences of NASCAR and Formula One. Mm-hmm. But first, me and Gabby are going to talk about what made us get into Formula One or NASCAR, and then also just like the background of like how we came together, because I think it's very funny.
But before we actually film this, we have to tell you guys how we met. Because,
of course.
I mean, it's kind of interesting because you might be wondering why we're doing a podcast about F1 and NASCAR. Because, like, why in the world do you want to do that?
Yeah.
You're going to find out very soon.
Very soon.
We first met, actually, in our introduction to broadcasting class, which was last semester. And we didn't, we didn't do too much together, but, you know, we knew of each other. And then this semester we had our podcasting class.
Yeah.
And we had to do something fun called speed dating.
Speed dating.
So
And for some people, speed dating might be fun, but for our class, it was like, we kind of already know each other, so why are we doing a speed dating?
Yeah.
But the speed dating, it was, I don't know how to feel about it, because
it was like we had to just walk around and talk to every single person for like a minute or two straight. And what we had to do essentially is find a partner to do a podcast with, and you have to like kind of talk to them, be like, and brainstorm ideas.
Yeah.
And then we met and we got like into our group, and we're like, wait, we both love F1, like motorsports.
Yeah.
I like NASCAR.
Yeah.
F1 and NASCAR, two very different sports.
Yeah.
And do you know of any podcasts that are like this?
I don't know any at all. And it's crazy because I remember first semester when we were talking about like the course load in Professor Fortin's class, and she was like, oh, you guys have to take a podcasting class. I remember thinking I was like, I think I would want to do a podcast on Formula One. Even though I'm not like the highest expert. We both know this. I'm not like the highest expert of knowing Formula One. I'm still learning about it. It's still something that I love and I want to learn.
Yeah.
And then also I remember, I don't know if it was you or another girl that sat by you, but I remember someone saying that they wanted to be a journalist for Formula One, and I was like,
maybe Olivia.
Yeah, maybe it was Olivia. And I was like, that is so crazy, because I want to do that too.
Yeah.
Just to be able to travel the world.
Like literally, like what sounds bad about that job? You just travel the world to go to races.
I know.
And do your job. Like that sounds.
Imagine I would turn into a fashion show. I'm not gonna lie.
But yeah. Anyways, that's how we met. Is we did our little speed dating thing. And we just had a very cohesive idea, like, already. And a lot of times we were just brainstorming, like, oh, well, I like this and you like this. Like, we could do something kind of cool with this. Like, it could be cool. But then us, me and Zamari, we had just, like, the perfect idea right there. And it's very niche.
Yeah.
Nobody does this. Like, there's a lot of podcasts that are just motorsports overall. But there's not a lot that are specifically focused on Formula One and NASCAR. So here we are.
Yeah.
We wanted to break that barrier.
Yeah, we're shaking things up.
And it was needed. So
yeah, 100%. So let's get into some questions that we have for each other.
We need to do a little interview because you guys need to get to know us, because you don't know much about us, and obviously you need to know our background in these sports, because we can't just hop into talking about these. We need some credibility.
I'll let you go first and explain your background and just talk about how you got into NASCAR and Formula One.
All right, so I grew up kind of watching motorsports. My dad was big into supercross, like motocross, like dirt bikes. He used to race them. So I watched that every Sunday. It was really big for me. I still love it to this day. But I got into Formula One in 2023, and it was like around the summertime of 2023, because my dad was going to go to the Las Vegas Grand Prix. The very first one, mind you. So it was really exciting. He's going to go there for some kind of business thing. And he was watching the Netflix show, Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
You've probably heard of it.
Everyone's favorite.
And I started watching it, and I literally binged that show.
Uh-huh.
I was obsessed with it because it was so interesting. I mean, now I know, like, after you kind of do more research on the sport, you kind of realize how dramatic, like, how much
dramatized
it's so dramatized. It's like, but it's still a great way to get people into the sport, no matter what, you know. Even it kind of hooks you in. So my very first race was Monaco of 2023, and I just chose a couple drivers that I liked, you know, kind of picked and choose. And I started watching, and I didn't really know what was going on at all. I was very confused. Literally no clue. I was like, my dad kept asking me questions as if I knew, and I was like, I don't know why you're asking me questions. I actually started watching this after you. So I feel like I should be asking you questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just kind of got hooked right there. And I still very much am very heavily into Formula One. And I just started doing research on it. I've watched all the races. I have not missed many races. It's kind of insane. And I actually ended up going to the Las Vegas Grand Prix with my dad. I didn't go to the actual race. I went to the Friday and Saturday events because the Sunday was too hard to get into. Because man, those races are expensive.
Oh, man.
Expensive. Especially, I think Las Vegas is actually the most expensive Grand Prix of the entire year. So even more than Monaco.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
I mean, but if you think about it, like, the monetary value is different in Monaco than it is in Las Vegas.
Yeah, there's a lot of money that goes into it, but it was very cool because you're getting to see all the drivers that you've seen on your TV and all the cars you've seen on your TV for like a couple years.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wow, they're actually right in front of me in person. It's so cool. And I was front row in the grandstands of where I was at, so I could see them. I could literally see their helmets, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's Lando, that's Max, that's Lewis.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's so cool. But yeah, I actually started doing content creation. So the reason why I like know a lot about this is because I do a lot of content for it. So I kind of have to know about like what I'm talking about. Otherwise, I don't have credibility. It's almost like a journalist. Like you need to have credibility, or else people aren't going to want to follow you. Because why would they want to follow somebody who doesn't know about the sport? They're kind of being fakes.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, I just started learning more about it. And in October of 2024, I started doing content for it. So I have learned a lot about the sport. I know quite a bit about F1. Not everything, because I think it's kind of impossible. All the engineering aspects are kind of hard.
100%.
But, like, I know as much as I can as a media kind of major, not as an engineering major, because I feel like that's where it crosses the line.
Yeah.
But I actually got into NASCAR, which is why we're kind of bringing in the NASCAR aspect of this, because I love NASCAR now. Back in June, I went to my first NASCAR race, and I do content, so I went viral because of my videos, because people love to see new fans getting into the sports.
100%.
And that's where that's literally how I got like 100,000 views at least on this one video of me reacting to the race. And everybody loved it. Like, they were like, oh my gosh, welcome to the sport. Like, it's so fun having new people. And they're telling me all about it. And I got invited to the pits with my friends. And we got to see the races from an infield perspective, which is hard to get into. Like, those passes are like $800.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really get those, it's kind of like a paddock pass for F1. And getting to see that experience, you're seeing, I got into Victory Lane, which is where the driver will celebrate whoever wins. Oh my gosh, it was the coolest experience. And I remember I watched a couple NASCAR races beforehand on TV. I did not like them. I literally was like, this is so boring. They're just turning left. Like, it's so boring. I was like, this is a snooze fest.
Yeah.
No wonder people aren't getting into this. And I was like, but I ended up going to that race in June because I had somebody that lived near the track.
Yeah.
So it's something I'm very passionate about is getting people into it, specifically like younger girls, because it's so important for the demographic to get into it. And I feel like you need to go in person, and it's really easy to go in person because there's a track. Like, there's tracks all over the country, and there's a lot that are local. Like, I mean, how far are you from Daytona, where you live?
Literally 2 hours, not even that far.
Yeah, she's like you're 2 hours away from one of the most popular tracks.
100%.
And it's really important, I think, because that's the difference with F1 is because it's very hard to access. And that's why I think it's such a good gateway to get into NASCAR, because there's tracks everywhere. Like, my closest track is probably just about 3-4 hours away from me. So it's something I'm very passionate about, and that's kind of why we want to start this, because Zamari has the passion for F1 and I have the passion for NASCAR. So why not put those two together?
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it. And, I'm still doing content to this day about it. I actually just went to some dirt racing. So we're adding on new sports.
Yes.
But I was in Phoenix for the NASCAR and IndyCar. We're not going to bring an IndyCar in today. But I was out there for the doubleheader. So, still very active in it.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us your stories, Mari?
So my story is actually very short. It's not that long at all. But so in 2018, my dad brought up the fact of Lewis Hamilton, and I was like, who is this guy? Didn't know, didn't really care too much about it, didn't really react. Then during 2020, Lewis Hamilton's name popped up again, but this time it was because of COVID and the Black Lives Matter movement that was happening because of the aftermath of George Floyd, unfortunately. And I just remember seeing the headlines everywhere that was like, Lewis Hamilton and like some of the some of the Formula One drivers were like taking a kneel, and I thought that was just like legendary. I don't know. It's also like the whole thing of like Colin Kaepernick when he was taking the kneel for the Black Lives Matter movement too. It's just something about that whole thing where
it's also a big deal because it's a global sport.
It's a global
sport.
He's
not even from
America at all.
He's from England, right. So it's like it's a really big deal when it reaches that. It's that big of a reach,
right? And it's like, okay, so you're obviously caring more about what's going on around the world and not just like in your little bubble, because as celebrities sometimes they won't speak out or they won't do anything that has to do with politics or standing up for something that you should believe in. So that was like my first intro to it, and then ever since that day I was like, okay, so what is Formula One about? So I really have been trying to like I have been watching like a lot of Drive to Survive, and I also grew up going, like you said, to the Daytona area, and anytime I go to Daytona, like as soon as you like get off the highway to go into Daytona, there's the racetrack is just right there.
Really?
So every single time we're in Daytona, it's like there it is. I also grew up going to Indianapolis every summer. So you get to see the Indianapolis, like the Indy 500 track as well, and that's a huge track.
That is a big deal race.
It's a big track. And so I remember one summer, I remember them like doing the testings there, and I thought it was so cool. I really wanted to go, but I unfortunately didn't like grow up in a household where we could just like go to a racetrack for, a few days.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of like what, kind of like made me want to get into it. But now I feel like I really have a passion for it as much as I can, because Formula One is something that is definitely changing a lot, especially with like the rules and the regulations that they're putting out, which both of us have spoken out about, like how much we're hating it this season so far.
There's new regulations, if you guys didn't know, for F1, and they're interesting.
They're very interesting. They're very interesting.
It's bringing out a lot of passion for sure.
And it's crazy. Okay, so the other day, and this is like totally off the rules and regulations, but my dad called me the other day and he was like, "Oh, have you heard the news?" And I'm like, "What's the news?" And he started talking about Tyler Reddick, and I'm like, "I don't even know who this guy is." And then, oh my goodness! And he was like, "Wait, don't you like NASCAR?" And I was like, "Dad, no." I was like, "That's not me. That's my co-host Gabby." And then he started talking about Michael Jordan's team, and I was like, "Okay, I'll bring this up in the podcast." I don't know.
It's great.
My dad was my dad is in love with NASCAR. I don't know how or when he became like in love with it.
Oh my gosh, you have to tell him I'm so happy.
Yes.
You have to tell him Gabby's happy.
And so I think it's so crazy because with him falling in love with NASCAR and me loving Formula One, every single time that he like talks to clients, because my dad's a barber, anytime he'll talk to clients or like people that he knows, he's always like, "Yeah, my daughter's gonna be a Formula One media person," and I'm just like, "Dad,
wait,
I haven't even hit it yet. Like, give me a second." I'm just a sophomore in college.
Give me a break, please. Hold on. I got a couple years left. Oh my God.
But I'm so happy that he's so proud, and like I think it's definitely started like the bonding for us is talking about Formula
it's a good
NASCAR.
Connection.
It definitely is.
I got my parents, I mean, my dad, like he kind of in a way got me into F1, but I mean, I've almost gotten him more into it.
Yeah.
I've gotten my mom into it. My mom who does not care about sports like at all. And my mom's now obsessed with NASCAR, and so is my dad. Like they always ask me, like, "What happened here? Did he crash?" I'm like, "You're watching the same race I am, actually. I think he did." But it's actually kind of funny that you brought Tyler Reddick up. He literally just won yesterday again.
Yes,
it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's just really funny to see because there's all like the drama. It's like literally it sounds like F1 now because they have them on like the same levels of drama because there was the whole between Michael Jordan's team, which is so weird. When I first got NASCAR, I was like, wow, so Michael Jordan owns a team with another NASCAR driver who's also drives for another team, a separate team. It's so confusing.
It's really confusing.
And I was like, why does Michael Jordan own a team? It's so weird. And his team, 2311 or 23XI, had an entire legal like battle according to court with NASCAR itself and the France family who owns NASCAR. And Michael Jordan's team, they won. And he's literally won. There's been 6 races, and Tyler Reddick has won 4. And it's unbelievable. He won the first 3 in a row, then lost the 5th one, then won the 6th one. Yeah. I'm like, I don't even know how he's doing it. And it's funny because all the conspiracists are coming out and being like, they're putting their tinfoil hats on. They're like, it's because the team paid NASCAR off,
Oh,
so they
I
win
hate
afterwards.
that
I'm like,
so much.
I promise you, like, that's not how it's going. But it's funny because it's like, it's funny to get those kind of rumors because I think it makes it more exciting anyways.
I always hate when they always try to like bring the money into it. They're like, oh no, you paid this or you did that. I'm like,
there was somebody in
even...
Phoenix that he literally had like infield passes, like an infield pass, which you had to pay for those, like $150 for those. So he paid for that just to carry a sign around calling out the France family and like NASCAR and like how they're paying people out. I'm like, you just gave them like $200 of your money. So like,
right.
I feel like you're not really helping your cause.
It's very counterintuitive.
Yeah,
actually.
but it's really cool seeing like they always kind of they utilize Michael Jordan a lot in like the social media aspect of it because obviously he's a legend. Like and it's really cool that he owns a NASCAR team, and it's really actually big for NASCAR as a whole.
Yeah,
because you're bringing in like he's such a big figure just in sports overall. Like everybody knows who Michael Jordan is. Like if you don't know who Michael Jordan is, who like you're under a rock. And yeah, it's really cool because then you can see people like are like they recognize, wait, Michael Jordan owns a team. That's really cool.
Yeah,
I'll root for that team, and it's a winning team. It's a very heavily winning team.
Oh yeah, I was looking at the news and I'm like, yeah, this is like pages and pages of winning.
And I hope you guys got to know us very well.
Yeah,
and this gets you excited for our next episodes because we have some very fun content to talk about.
We do.
So,
and now we are going to talk about the similarities and differences of NASCAR and Formula One.
Which there's quite a bit, so get excited.
Yeah.
The main thing that people will say between NASCAR and F1, oh yeah, they're like completely different sports. But we want to focus on the similarities because there really are quite a few similarities if you watch both these, because I've watched both of them now because I've been watching F1 since 2023-ish, and I just started watching NASCAR last season, and already I can see all the similarities. But first, I want to go into a few of the differences that I have seen.
Okay.
So the main one I've been seeing is this is like, it doesn't seem that big of a deal, but paint schemes and helmets. This is very different. So in F1, helmet designs matter so much, right? Like
yes,
that's where you put a lot of the sponsors. That's where, because F1 cars are open at the top, so you know you can see the helmet very easily. When you're at a race, you can tell, oh, that's Lando Norris because I can see his helmet. It's neon green.
Yes.
But for NASCAR, it's closed. It's a stock car. Those are closed at the top. You don't get to see their helmets like ever.
Yeah.
So in NASCAR, they don't do helmet designs like ever. They might have like one for like the entire year.
Yeah.
They just don't really care about it. But in NASCAR, the paint schemes or liveries, you know, whatever you want to call it, those are so important. Like that's where sponsors will have a few allocated races.
Yeah.
For example, like Kyle Larson, he has the same paint scheme like every single weekend because the sponsor Hendrick, it's Valvoline, it's the gas station or something. They sponsor him like the entire season. They pay a lot of money. But this other driver, Carson Hocevar, he has a few sponsors. So he has one sponsor, Chili's, you know, the restaurant. He has a very famous paint scheme that he'll run a few races out of the year, and they pay for that amount. And he'll have other paint schemes. They kind of go in and out. Like every other race, they'll kind of change it up. It's very different. I don't know. It's very cool to kind of look at, even though it's just paint schemes.
Yeah.
And liveries, they also call that differently. My friend one time called a NASCAR car, like she called it a livery instead of a paint scheme.
Yeah.
And people got very mad. They're like, it's not a livery, it's a paint scheme.
They're like, this is not Formula One.
Heaven forbid. I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was that big of a deal.
Yeah. And just to go back to Formula One, for example, Formula One, they have liveries. And their helmets are very important because in their helmets are like one of the things that they can design for different Grand Prix. They have like special edition helmets for select races. One of the big ones that they always have a select one is like Las Vegas or Monaco. For example, Lando just changed his helmet. So he changed his number this year too. So his number is 1 instead of...
I didn't think he was going to do that.
I didn't think he was going to do it either because not a lot of Formula One drivers decide they want to do 1. I think Max did actually.
Max did 1.
Yeah, Max did 1.
Lando, by the way, guys, Lando Norris, if you guys don't know, Lando Norris is basically his entire brand is his number 4 because it's LN4, right? So that's why we're surprised that he changed it to 1 because most people thought he was going to keep it 4.
Yeah, and his helmet is like so one of his sponsors is Monster Energy Drink.
Yep.
And so it's like the bright green neon, and he always has like the different cool, I think it's like a cheetah print kind of.
Blobs.
Blobs.
He calls it blobs.
Okay, so
It's very
blobs.
poetic.
There we go. They have like different blobs of something, of energy. Let's say that.
I have no idea.
And so on his helmet, it's Monster, Visa, and Dropbox, which are all like sponsors for them.
Yep.
And then also, in my opinion, I think one of the best helmet designs was Lewis Hamilton's that he did back in 2021 for Chadwick Boseman. And it was like the Black Panther. It was like purple, black, and like silverish.
Ooh,
And he did it,
yes.
and like in the back of it, it was like his favorite, like his quote from, I think it's Maya Angelou, if I'm not mistaken. It's Still I Rise.
Oh, yes.
And
That's his
it
thing.
was so poetic, so perfect. And I mean, that's just like an example of what happens when drivers do political, or like they want to have like memories of somebody on there.
Kind of make it their own a little
Make
bit.
it their own
Yep.
in a way. To go back to like liveries for a second.
Yeah.
So the liveries are, like you said, are designs for Formula One, and then you have the paint schemes for NASCAR.
Yep.
So some teams will go to do vinyl every once in a while for a Grand Prix, just like change it up to do something different. And these are just like some of the rules that I thought was interesting that they have to have for the car. For example, the driver's name has to be like clearly visible in the car, which I think is so weird, because if I can remember, I honestly don't remember seeing like a name of a driver's.
Is it on the Halo? On the Halo?
It's probably on the Halo.
on the Halo.
It's probably on the Halo. And
I don't see it though. It's too small.
yeah, it's too small. Thank you.
I look at their number
Thank
personally.
you. Okay, and that's another thing is like the team's name or logo needs to be on the front, which obviously if we see Ferrari, you're gonna see bright Ferrari, or you're gonna see bright Mercedes
And
or
that
McLaren.
ugly blue HP logo.
And
you
the
see.
ugly HP logo. Each card must show the driver's race number, which of course we always see those. It has to be visible from the front and on their helmet. And then the last one is the onboard cameras have different color requirements to help to tell the team apart.
Oh, that's very interesting.
It is
I
very
didn't even really know that those actually existed. So
yeah.
it's very interesting to go to see, like, if you really dive into it, to see the specifics of everything.
Yeah.
Also, something that actually I critiqued a lot when I first started watching NASCAR is that NASCAR does not run in the rain, like, at all.
Nope.
They don't have tire compounds for it, and I was like, so build them. Like, you can make them, but they just don't. I don't know why, really. I'm not that into it yet. But they really, like, they'll run in the rain, but, like, if it's more than sprinkling, they're stopping.
Yeah.
They're in the pits. They call it pit road. Not pit lane. That's the weird thing for me. But so they don't even run in the rain. You know, in F1 you see, like, if you watch so Sao Paulo, the Brazil Grand Prix, I think it was last year, 2024, I don't remember. It was absolutely straight up downpouring.
It was so wet. It was
Like,
insane.
And they were still green flagging
were
that
doing it.
race, and I was like, they're racing. Yeah, and in NASCAR, you see a few drops in the circuit, and then they're like, oh,
nope.
race is canceled. We're gone.
Go home.
It's very interesting how that kind of works.
Yeah.
Pit stops is one of the main things. Because if you guys ever watched the Cars movie, where you have, like, what's his name, Guido or something, the little Italian guy.
Oh my
that's
god,
like,
I have not watched Cars in so long. I feel so bad.
Well, in F1, right? They're like, okay, well, that was a pretty slow pit stop. It was 3 seconds.
Yeah, it has to be under 2.5 seconds.
Yes, it literally has to be like under 2.5 seconds, or else you failed.
Yeah.
Because they have one person allocated for each wheel, right? In NASCAR, they have one for the rear and one for the front. So they have two people. So, and they also, it's like 5 little tire hole thingies. I don't even know what they're freaking called, but you have to go zoom, 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 and then you have to, like, take it off, put it back on, and then you have to, like, and then they sprint over to the other side, and then same thing again, and it takes probably about, like, I would say a little bit less than 10 seconds.
Have you seen, like, the Instagram videos, or, like, well, I mean, you've been to the races before, so you've seen them before, and it's like, it's so fast.
Yep.
It doesn't even feel like it's 10 seconds.
Actually, at the race I was at, I think it was a race I was at it was like the trucks race, because there's different series. I'll go into that later. For NASCAR, there was one of the pit crew guys was, like, running around the car, and he got run over by the car. Wow. He just, like, flipped over. He was fine. He's afterwards. He's just like, oh, whatever.
He's like, I'm good.
He literally just got, like, flipped over the car, and I was like, okay. Like, the pit crew guys for NASCAR are absolute units. Most of them are professional athletes that retired, or they were D1 athletes.
Yeah.
that just after college, they
They were just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I don't want to do this anymore.
I want to go to NASCAR.
Yeah, I want to go to NASCAR and change a tire.
Yeah.
And you know, those things are heavy. So you know what? The strength is needed. And also, they do fuel in NASCAR, right? F1, they don't do fuel. They do hybrid engines now.
Yeah.
And NASCAR, they have to change fuel every couple of pit stops. And the fuel things they have, they're these big tubes, right? The guys that they have a specific guy that wears like this really cool outfit, like a helmet with their visor down and like this like kind of tin apron almost to protect them from the fuel and like the gas. And they have to carry this thing and put it in while they're changing the tires, and it'll like leak fuel all over. I'm like, oh my gosh, someday it's going to light on fire.
I feel like that covers up the differences. I feel like we have so many more similarities to go over.
I really want to go to the similarities, because the similarities were something that I'm really passionate about, because someone that has like been like knows both of these series. I think the similarities is what will help you guys, whoever's watching, that's maybe a fan of F1 and not a fan of NASCAR, or a fan of NASCAR and doesn't really like F1.
Yeah,
I think it's really crucial to see the similarities, because that's what'll really get you into it, you know. Because that's what personally helped me get into it.
Yeah. And the similarities will like really be shocking and maybe surprise a few people as well.
They really are. So the main tie that I thought was really interesting, right, is the Red Bull athletes. Okay, so the very first race I went to, I saw a Red Bull car. It was full Red Bull, like just because, you know, like in F1 you have Max Verstappen's car. It's like the Red Bull car, right?
Yes.
And I saw that exact car in a NASCAR version and last year, and I was like, no way. I was like, this is so cool. I didn't know they had a Red Bull car.
Yeah.
And I was like, what, does Red Bull sponsor them? Like a whole team? But they sponsor a couple drivers, and these drivers are SVG and Connor Zilic. Connor Zilic actually just moved up to the series. So there's 2 Red Bull cars now. So they're both Red Bull athletes, right? So the team itself isn't sponsored by Red Bull, but these 2 specific drivers are, and that's what depicts their paint schemes. So that's how kind of Red Bull is in there. And also SVG, his full name's Shane Van Gisbergen. This is his 3rd year, I think, in NASCAR. He came from Supercars, actually. He's from New Zealand. So he's very good friends with Liam Lawson, if you don't know, who's also a Red Bull athlete from New Zealand. Yeah. And I find it really interesting because they've done actually multiple videos together. I've seen videos with SVG and Connor Zilic, these 2 NASCAR drivers that are Red Bull athletes, and they do videos. They've done videos with Yuki Tsunoda and Liam Lawson.
Love Luke.
And I'm like, wow, like wait, and like they taught them how to race stock cars. It was like a whole thing, and I was like, I didn't know that this was like they knew each other. And the fact that they're all kind of tied together, like at the last NASCAR race, I was in Phoenix and I literally saw at the Red Bull pit box, which is like where they do the pit stops at. I saw Liam Lawson just standing right in front of me, and I was like, what are you doing here at a NASCAR race? Oh, the similar structure. Do you want to kind of go over the similar structure? Because maybe explain the F1 championship one, like the structure, and then I'll go over to the NASCAR one.
The last race of the season is really what solidifies who wins, like the driver and who wears. The driver and who wins like the world championship.
Yep.
For the past 3 years is like Lando won last year, and then Max won like 2023. I think was it 2020?
2021, 2022, 2023, 2024.
Oh yeah, he did win like
4 in a row. He did.
He
had a pretty fast car.
He was just like, I'm just gonna do it.
I'm just too good, so
Just gonna do it.
No, yeah, it's this is actually a very recent similarity. NASCAR just changed their championship format this year. What they haven't had changed for a few years now, which is a really big deal. You know, that's a big thing to change. A lot of people were critiquing the last championship format because it was, to sum it up, it was pretty unfair because points didn't really matter. So, for example, like in the Xfinity series, right? The driver who had a ton of points. He was winning. He won majority of races, like 11 out of like 30 races, which is very rare. That does not happen ever. He broke like lots of records, right? So he had so many points. He had like hundreds of points above the other drivers. And what they do is they'll kind of have like 5. It's like 3 to 5 drivers that are going to be in contention.
Yeah.
For the last race, and only one, and then one out of those 5 drivers will win the race, like win the entire championship.
Yeah.
It does not. It's like so weird because it doesn't matter how many points you had beforehand. It's just that one race. So the driver who had like almost 1,000, like he had like 500 points more than the person in second place. He got unlucky and finished second, and the other driver who had like way less points finished first, and then he won the championship. And it was like, well, he didn't deserve it because he got lucky with one race.
Yeah.
So it was like nobody liked it, and because everybody wanted the other guy to win. And then they decided to change it because of this. So now it is actually very similar to F1, where it's just whoever has many points. And what they'll do is they call something the chase. So they have about 32-ish races in the season. They have quite a few races. So they'll just like race up until, the last 10 races of the season. They'll have the top 10 drivers in points. Those will be the 10 drivers in the chase or in contention for the championship. And then just those top 10 drivers, between those 10, whoever has the most points at the end of the season gets a championship. Yeah. So this is how it's actually adjusted. And now it's the same with F1, which is very nice because it's a good championship format.
Yeah.
The other one was so complicated, and they're kind of making it less complicated, which is so much nicer.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite things that's like similar about it now. So I don't know.
All right, so just to like jump back into like the sponsorships and how it all kind of like clicks together, for example, they are like sponsorships for Formula One are just as important as they are in NASCAR, as you said.
I would say they're equally important.
100%.
They're just shown differently, I would say. You know, like they show them differently in different advertisements, whether it's on the car, the helmet, ads, social media campaigns, Yeah. They're also just, the one difference is like the different kinds of sponsors. I feel like, because for F1, you're getting more global ones or just probably bigger-ish companies like
Ferrari with HP, the ugly blue.
Oh my gosh.
And then you have McLaren is with MasterCard. And then you
Red Bull's
have
with Oracle.
Oracle.
You have like these big software companies, and I just think it's really funny because they'll usually have like dominant sponsors. They're usually for separate drivers. Yeah. But this is like the difference between the sponsorships is they have like different random companies. Like there's like this one like underwear brand, not Jockey. They make an entire paint scheme for their drivers that like on the outside it just shows like it's like a guy that's like shirtless with underwear on, and it like as if they're driving. It's the weirdest thing.
It's the weirdest thing.
And they have like they have a Wendy's car and like a McDonald's car. I'm like, it's so American. Also, getting a little bit more deeper with this, there's something that's I found actually when I was doing some research. I was looking this up and I was like, I realized that very big differences, very big changes came in both these sports after an important figure in the sport died in a crash during a race. Yeah. So you see in F1, we had Jules Bianchi died because the car wasn't necessarily safe. Like the cars weren't necessarily safe by then. And he ended up dying in an accident during a rainy race.
Yes, it was a very rainy race.
After that race, they developed something called the halo, which a lot of the drivers didn't like, but it ended up, if you watch clips, it saved tons of lives.
Let's just say notable, Roman Grosjean, in the Bahrain in 2020.
Yep.
Zhao in Silverstone in 2021. Yep. And then you have Charles Leclerc as well. Many people thought that it was just going to be like, oh my God, it's going to like...
It's making it lame.
It's making it lame. It's making it too safe. Like, now they can't see out of the cars, but many drivers have came out and said, this is saving our lives, so don't be upset.
A lot of them didn't like it at first.
A lot of them did not like it at first.
Never mind. Yeah. Because there's this one incident, I remember, if this is in 2021 season, this might make you even want to watch it even more. Yeah. Between Lewis and Max when they were crashing every other race because they were getting so heated, where Lewis Hamilton ended up, Max Verstappen ended up on top of Lewis Hamilton's car. Yes. They literally, their cars stacked on top of each other, and like the wheel or something went over the top of Lewis Hamilton's car. Yep. You could see some tire marks on the top of like it ruined a tiny part of Lewis Hamilton's helmet because it got that close. If the halo was not there, it would have just smashed him basically. Yeah. So the fact that the halo was there, it saved his life, and it saved countless lives, as Zamari was saying before. Yeah. She was listing a few of the, just a few, mind you, of the many.
My biggest thing is I really feel like if we had the halo back then with like Senna, that crash right there would have been.
It would have
saved him.
Yep. It's really hard to even think about that. Yeah, because it's like you have all these people that could have been saved. And it's like, it's just the worst to think about. Yeah. But we have this going back to Dale Earnhardt. So Dale Earnhardt also died in a race, and the car. This was back in like the 80s, like 90s ish. The cars weren't that safe, really. You know, like it's just
They
stock
weren't
cars.
safe at all.
They weren't safe at all, really. Like they were not that nice, and but, like the tracks weren't also that safe. Like it was really just a mix of things. But he ended up dying and in an accident, and it was a tragic loss because he's the biggest name in NASCAR. So after he died, they brought in their kind of version of a hit. They brought in different barriers, safer barriers, and different seatbelt systems. These kind of brought a lot of focus on the safety of the cars, and which wasn't placed there before, which is something that's very important. It's just you have two important figures in completely different sports or motorsport series, and their deaths in the sport brought safety.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think is really cool and that's a really weird, like unique correlation. So.
And well, that is our podcast.
I think that
we did really good.
I think hopefully this is helping you persuade you guys into watching the other series if you guys are only a fan of one of them or maybe neither.
Thank you for listening and can't wait to see you at the next pit stop.